70 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to learn a little something right now. Dr. David Kuhn is here from Trinity Healthcare Medical Center. Dr. Kuhn is here to answer your questions. He is the founder and medical director of the Trinity Healthcare Medical Center. And the phone number right now, if you want to call in, is 622-9622-622-WOCA. And the number to call Trinity Healthcare is 352, of course, 512-0000. Easy number, 512-0000. The website is THC. Was it the MC, Robin?
Yes.
THCMC. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you.
Your beautiful wife, Susie, she sent us some information about what you want to talk about today.
Yes, sir.
And unhealthy relationships.
Unhealthy relationships. Absolutely.
Are we talking about like having an affair, that kind of thing?
No, nothing like that.
No,
well,
nothing
I mean,
like that.
I don't know if we want to, we can, but I'm not sure how that applies to health right now, right? No, this is...
Yeah, what do you mean by unhealthy relationships?
Well, it's a topic I think that people don't really understand. It's important. It's important to our health. And the reason that it is, this has actually been, studied now over and over and over again. An unhealthy, a toxic relationship, especially a husband and wife, but it could be, almost any. It can be as bad for your health as fast food, as bad genes, as any number of other things.
What is that?
It's this chronic stress is really the thing and the effect that it has on the body, but even more importantly is it becomes a root cause for why our lifestyle is off track, right? And so if we're afraid of things like obesity or diabetes or heart disease all of these things, we of course have to look at the lifestyle factors that influence those. And we now know that our relationships have a dramatic effect. And we realize this, even if just we observe.
Sure.
And we see, a husband or a wife, and they may be, a little bit lazy. And so the other one has a tendency to be a little bit lazy also. Or if there's a smoker, the other one has a tendency to stay smoking with that spouse, right? Or if there's a spouse who likes to eat out all the time, well, then the other one, you kind of, you do what you do.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good one.
Right?
Yeah,
sure. Or maybe, the wife or the husband, maybe they do the grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. Well, then there's no influence there. You kind of just eat what you're fed. And so we have to look at relationships as a part of the overall health of almost any human being. We really do.
The relationships you seem to focus on were marital relationships. Do like people you know, I guess as acquaintances, people you work with, for example, Joe. I'm teasing. It was just a big joke. But I mean, I'll tell you from another job I had. There was a lady at another job, and every time I would see her, she would be bad mouthing other people in the company.
Sure.
And I would be so uncomfortable because I didn't want to engage in that conversation. Mm-hmm. And it really gave me a sense of anxiety, a tension. I couldn't wait to get away from it. It was like, okay, well, I got to go.
Yes.
See, is that kind of relationship that impactful on our health?
A smaller one like that, if you imagine it, it really isn't. Because what can we do in a tiny little bite-sized relationship like that? Well, just leave.
Yeah.
Just leave the room. Just leave the party. Just, leave, the job or whatever it is. A relationship that you're, married to, or that, a child, a parent, and there are many ways, of course, that these things can, affect our lifestyle and thus our health. And so that's why we have to look at these in steps.
You're sort of in the psychology realm right now, aren't you?
A little bit we are, but we have to be. But we really have to be.
So do you ever speak to a wife, for example, and she's overweight, and you say, your real problem is your husband? Does that and you're being honest?
Absolutely.
So then you have to work with him.
We might have to. I've got a number of clients who have asked their, spouse or even, their mother or their, the father to also be a patient as well, and to become almost a little bit of a team sport approach to how do we get healthier, because we all have to be in on this as a team together. It's hard to do individually, especially if you're in a relationship. That's a difficult thing to do on your own. You feel like you don't want to break away. So it kind of depends. It's a little bit a little dicey.
Am I right in guessing that you as a doctor have to be careful that you're not stepping on toes? I mean, if you really truly believe, let's say you know a lady for a while, a long time, and when she was married to Ed, she wasn't heavy. Now that she's married to Jim, she's heavy. And you say, okay, I think I see what happened here. You've got a new relationship and a new lifestyle because of that relationship.
Right.
So you have to be careful not to step on toes because you don't want to accuse somebody else of her problem.
Right. And so, it's never about accusing, right? It's always everything that I do is straight from a place in my heart, and it's with love. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. And so I'm also here to understand. I'm here to understand how it is that you got from a healthier place in your life, a decade ago, to an unhealthier place in your life now, and what happened between then and now. And let's talk about that. So, and as you explore this, and you begin to ask these questions, and you understand, oh, well, you got married a couple of years ago. Well, let's have a talk about that. And what's he like? Oh, he's a great man. He's awesome, but he loves to watch this, or he loves, to game, or he loves to, to listen to the radio all day long, or he loves to do these things. And so I start to do those things. Or maybe I used to be a golfer, but he doesn't like to golf anymore, and so I don't get out near as much as I used to. And so you start to understand what has changed in their life, and now they're in a little bit of a rockier place. And then you start to open up possibilities of how to get this person back on track again, and maybe involve the person in the relationship.
Very complex.
And when you're an adult, it's easier for you to try to get the situation remedied, even though it's hard, than if you're a child, because sometimes the parents smother the child. They're pulling the child here, there, and everywhere with all these activities, and the children can't open up and have this form of communication to say, no, Mom, stop, I want to do this.
And in fact, I would even say that for many people, even in a marriage, it's hard to open up at that level and say, I'm concerned about my health, I'm concerned about your health, and I want us to do better together as a team. And let's have a talk about how to do that. And it happens the same with kids. There's no doubt about it. And it can almost become, and this is a thing that we see on a regular basis, that moms are often overwhelmed. They're often overwhelmed with so many things on their plate, right? They have lots of things they have to do for lots of different people all the time. And the first thing, or one of the first things that we give up, is the things that we love only for ourselves, and then our health is often next after that. And so instead of waking up a little earlier to have a healthy breakfast, or an extra half an hour to make a better dinner, or even to make dinner at all, or things like this, or to exercise in the gym, we let that go because other people have needs, and we really want to make sure that we fill their needs and we meet their needs, and so we give up our needs, and that's the order that it goes. This is how humans work. This is how we all work.
Wow.
And this is just observation. This is what you can see. It's just a pattern of behavior.
This speaks to something pretty amazing about yourself and people in your profession, and it's similar. I'm going to compare it to a mechanic. If I have something wrong with my car, the mechanic will often say, let's go for a ride. And then with his ears, he will say, oh, I know what's wrong. And I'll say, what? You didn't even look under the hood. And it sounds like you do the similar thing, where you listen to what people say, and not even with a stethoscope or with any blood pressure tests, you sort of kind of have some kind of a way to diagnose or guess maybe what might be wrong, right?
Well, of course, absolutely. That's really the next level, of primary care, is that understanding all of these things. It's what we've been speaking about here now over a couple of months now. It's been, many more. Most of the diagnoses, and if you ask any doctor this, and they'll explain this, most of the diagnoses that you get are based on the history, on a patient history. And so, or another way to look at that is a patient's story. And so if you sit and you listen, and if you are a good listener and a good observer, because it's in our bodies as well, in the way that a person holds themselves, and the language that they use and the tones that they use and the words that they use. And if you observe all these things, and you can really see, is this a person I can help by, I just have to hand them a diet and explain to them what to do, and they have the emotional strength to go do it? Or do we have to work on the emotional part first because they're not yet in a place to be able to get there on their own?
It really shows how hard your job actually is.
It can be complicated.
It's not all textbook. There's something. What's the word? Intuitive about it, isn't there? All right,
Absolutely.
We're up against the break, so let's take that little break. Sure. By the way, just for you, so you know, Dr. David Kuhn is here for your questions as well. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Friday, partly sunny skies, a breezy afternoon with a high of 78 along the coast, 84 inland. Partly cloudy Friday night, low 59 and a few inland spots, upper 60s along the coast. For Saturday, a breezy day with sunshine and some clouds, the high 80 to 84. Easter Sunday, partly sunny, high 79 along the coast, 84 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Next Generation MD is the future of healthcare now. Listen in the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. to learn how the future in PRP treatments are here in our area. Find out the many ways that Dr. Juan Jordan, MD, Charles Brooks, NP, and case manager Mark Shaw have brought the family medicine practice to a new level. Hear from the very people that benefit from the fine work they have done in this field. Next Generation MD every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. here on WOCA 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
On May 6th from 6 till 9 p.m., embark on a magical night at the Appleton Museum of Art. Grab a golden tablet for an enchanting adventure with unicorn carriage rides, magic shows, mermaids, artwork that comes to life, and more. Make eye-popping art in the art space and enjoy refreshments. Family ticket package is $30 for members, $45 for non-members. Individual tickets are also available. For details and to purchase tickets, visit appletonmuseum.org.
Are you tired of running around and trying to pick out the perfect meal for Easter? Well, Honey Baked Ham has you covered, with food always cooked to perfection and a yummy dessert to end on a great note. Hop on over to Honey Baked Ham located at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue or call at 352-861-0011 and place your order. That's 352-861-0011. With Honey Baked Ham, you are sure to stay out of the kitchen unless you're sneaking second.
Animist Foundation is the name of the Ocala-based nonprofit sanctuary dedicated to the rescue and rehabilitation of wild and domestic animals. Animist, plainly stated, needs your 100% tax-deductible donation, which will go directly to animal care. This sanctuary is run solely on donations. There are so many questions to answer. Please call 843-6379, and they will explain to you how these creatures that live among us are cared for. Please call 843-6379. Thank you.
19 minutes after 11 o'clock, Dr. David Kuhn is in the studio. If you have a question, the number to call right now is 622-9622. Of course, Dr. Kuhn is from Trinity Healthcare Medical Center, and their phone number is 512-0000, and their address is 321 Southeast 29th Place in Suite number 102. They do have a website. It is thcmc.com. I got to get new glasses, doctor. That's why I didn't see that correctly the first time. So we were talking about how poor lifestyle, unhealthy lifestyle relationships, I guess is what we're saying. Mm-hmm. There was a story this morning about a decision, I guess, that they made in Vegas. They're going to start dispensing hypodermic needles in vending machines. I know, isn't that the craziest thing? Ones. I mean, it's almost like saying it's. I mean, I don't know what that's for.
I don't either.
The HIV is like 9% in that city, and and I guess they think that clean hypodermic needles.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. If there's an area of high drug use, then we know, that it's actually better, because you can't control the behavior, and so if a person is going to use IV drugs, off the street, well, let's make sure at least that we don't transmit, diseases back and forth.
So you provide the tools.
And that's the thinking. And so even though it's almost enabling in a sense, but it can help to protect from, other illnesses. And so it's a Band-Aid, but it's a reasonable start.
But that would be a lifestyle, not a relationship.
Sure, that's not a relationship.
It's two different things.
Yeah, that's an individual decision, right? If you do that to yourself, right? That's individual decision. A relationship is things that are external things in our life that influence what we do. Who could possibly be more strongly affect our lifestyle than the person that we spend the most time with, or the person that we love the most? The person this is how that. This
I have a story to tell you. This is not the one I told you off the air. I worked for a while at an assisted living facility.
Yep.
There was a lady with Alzheimer's or some kind of dementia, and she was in that part of the facility which was a locked part. Her husband came every single day. Was the sweetest. They were both sweet, really sweet, and they would sit outside of not outside, but in like the common area, holding hands, watching TV, whatever. Then he would go home. Well, at Christmas time, his daughter came in, and she was an adult, of course, and she told me that they had the most beautiful relationship. She showed me her mother and father, everything was good all around, 100% all good. Okay. I don't have anything bad to tell you, but I have this to tell you. That when she started to disappear through dementia, he was not himself. The relationship he had that kept him whole, even though she hadn't died, it was as if she had died, and yet she hadn't died.
Yes.
So he couldn't let go, but at the same time, okay, I don't mean to take up too much of your time, but just so the end of the story was this. They invited me to this Christmas party, and I went there, and he was with another lady. And she said, I hope you don't have a bad opinion. This is how he came back to life. So he still loves his wife, but now he has another lady making him whole again. It's just, I guess, the way we are.
Yes.
And so there was an example I just thought of that kind of speaks to what you're talking about, how relationships affect us.
It really does. In fact, it's a good example of, clearly this man, he loved his wife, who he was with for a long, long time, which means that he lived a long, long time, which means that he probably did some good things with his life and lifestyle over his entire life. Most likely his wife also. And there was clearly love there. There's no doubt about it. And so that's an example of a relationship that can lift our health or improve our health or lift our spirit and allow us to, it's equally as powerful an effect. If you get good at this and you can practice this, it really is a skill. It's a thing that you can learn with your spouse, with your loved ones, even your kids, that you can make this into a good thing. You can test, an easy one to do. This is one that I give as advice, is I'll ask a husband and wife, I'd like you to go home and cook a meal together, about a half an hour or an hour. And that's a test to see. This is if they don't already do this, and most don't.
Yeah.
And if that attempt just to make a meal together, ends up in an argument, or it wasn't a fun thing, or it was difficult or a struggle, then we have a little bit of work to do on the relationship before we can get to work on your lifestyle. But if it works out and it was a fun thing and they had some music on it, it ended up being a good thing, then that gives us a place to build from. Okay, so now what other aspects of your lifestyle can we look at with the idea of, let's improve your diabetes, let's improve your cholesterol, let's improve your heart disease, let's improve your energy. And this is our focus, this is our goal, but we have to get to the root of it.
And you have to be able to have the people enable themselves to have this communication and not think, oh, I'm going to step on his toes or I'm going to step on her toes, so I can't say anything.
It's the key word in the whole thing, communication. It really is effective.
In a loving relationship where two people are not having a healthy lifestyle, if they know that everything you've just said, this is what I could imagine. A couple says, you know what, I don't want to blame you, and I don't want you to blame me, but we could learn something about nutrition. Why don't we go to Dr. Kuhn and get some tips, and maybe we'd be healthier?
Absolutely right. For many people, all they need is a plan, a blueprint.
Yeah.
How does it work? I think I've mentioned this before. We don't really learn this. We don't learn the right way to live to maximize our health. We really don't learn this.
The phone line is open if you want to call. We got about 5 minutes left. Do you, not to get too personal, but do you celebrate Easter or
Easter is coming up. It is. It'll be a little bit of an event at our house, just a tiny one.
Just a little bit?
Just a
Nice.
tiny one.
So you don't do the chocolate, I'm guessing.
That's going to be off the record. I have to go off the air before we talk about that.
You do a lot of different age groups too, right?
Absolutely
So
right.
can I ask you to take this conversation about relationships and apply it to children a little bit? Do you see children sometimes and their relationships are affecting their health?
And so in a context of what we do at Trinity, teen years and older are the years, and then all ages above, obviously, are the groups that we care for. It's not as much the effect on a child, although a teen is going to inherit their lifestyle from mom and dad. There's no doubt about that, or at least it'll be influenced in one way or another, unless you have a child who rebels entirely and says, no, I'm definitely not going to live that way. I'm going to live my own way. And we're starting to see that a little bit more and more nowadays, especially with the information age, and so that information is out there now, so it's a little different. But it's the effect on the parent and the struggle on the parent, again, that the parent will give up on themselves a little bit because they have to give as much as they do to their kids and then their work and then their everything else. And so we just have to look for ways, for strategies to try to incorporate small adjustments in lifestyle. What's the thing that you're doing the worst? What's the biggest struggle? What's the thing holding you back? What's stressing you out the most? Let's talk about that one thing. It doesn't have to be deep, the deepest emotions, but instead the practical daily tweaks and adjustments that you work over time so a lifestyle slowly adapts. You can't just shift a lifestyle. I mentioned this at the last I talk. Only a quarter of men who have a heart attack make any adjustments in lifestyle at all after a heart attack. And so it really takes a desire, a passion to want to make a change. This is a thing that you have to offer people because they don't even really realize it's true.
And as we get older, that natural change, women call it menopause, men just change. I mean,
male menopause,
if we're not in sync at that point in our lives, and not to be too adult here, but sexual changes happen too. And I know you deal with women's health a lot. So I think as men, we have to figure out that that all those Viagra commercials, maybe you're supposed to slow down a little bit. I don't know.
Well, it's true. We know that we will. It does not mean that we have to lose intimacy in our life, though. We might lose sex for any number of reasons, for health reasons or illness reasons, a disease, emotional reasons.
Right.
But we don't have to lose that intimacy, a connection. And that's truly the thing that we desire the most at the deepest level inside. And so we might have to let our bodies off the hook a little bit and say, I've got a body that isn't working as well as I'd like it to work right now. I'm going to work on that. And so in the meantime, you let yourself off the hook a little bit about having to be able to perform all of the time, and that's important. But then with the idea of I'm going to try to improve, I'm going to try to get better.
But that's where we talk to you. That's when we say, hey, what do you think? I mean, is there something we should be doing? And if so, then what? What is good for us?
Exactly, and that's going to be specific to every individual because every relationship is different. It's a dynamic thing. It really is, and if there was specific advice that worked for all of us, then we probably would know it by now, and we would all be applying it by now, and we would all be healthy by now. And so it isn't as easy as that. It is complicated, and you do need a guide, a teacher.
Dr. David, you are always profound. I love these visits with you, and they always go too quickly. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this. And if as a listener, if you want to contact Dr. David Kuhn, he's at the Trinity Healthcare Medical Center at 321 Southeast 29th Place, Suite 102. The phone number, 352-512-0000. The website is www.thcmc.com. Thank you, Doctor.
Well read.
Thank you. All right, we will be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The man at the center of a national manhunt is caught in Wisconsin.
The Rock County Sheriff's Office says that wanted fugitive Joseph Jakubowski has been taken into custody. He was arrested last night near Reedstown in southwestern Wisconsin after receiving reports of a suspicious person on a farmer's property. Officers made contact and an arrest without incident.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso, a letter purporting to be from Jakubowski had threatened violence against churches, and Governor Scott Walker had canceled his annual Easter egg hunt for safety concerns. A North Korean official warning if the U.S. shows any signs of military aggression, his country is ready to launch a preemptive strike.
As the people of Pyongyang get ready to mark the anniversary of the birthday of the founder, there have also been reports that they might detonate a nuclear device at this time.
Fox's Greg Palcott, Fox News. We report, you decide.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security.